Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're going to do a review of the basic. So remember, the first thing we want to do is to make our crease. So we'll make our crease by going to the center, folding it in half, and creating that center line. This will be our guide. This very line right here will be our guide. Okay? So when we open the sheet of paper up, this is what's going to help us keep our plane straight. Okay, after that, we make our folds. Right to that actual line. Okay, so it kind of serves as a guide. And then we do the same thing on the other side. Always make sure that what's done on one side is done on the other. In this case here, I'm making sure that the line, that this all lines up. And as you see, we try to keep that as near as we can. Then after that, we fold. And like I said, no particular reason why I folded that at that length. That's just the length I choose. I can make it further up if I like. But I just like to do it right here. I think the plane comes out nicer. So we make that first fold. And then we go back to that same line that we used in the beginning, in the center. And we make our fold. And we go right to that line again when we make our fold. And we do what we do on one side, we do on the other side. Okay, and then we have our fold. Now, remember the tab we talked about. We talked about the tab. That tab is what holds the flaps in. And we hold that tab and that line is still straight. So then we pick it up and we make our fold. We can go inside or outside. I'm just going to go outside this time, where you can actually see the fold. And as you probably noticed, the plane, though it's not perfect here, the plane has a better chance of coming out even if you keep everything lined up with that original line. So this is what you should have. According to what we did last week, I'll go ahead and straighten out a little bit here. According to what we had last week, your plane should look like this. Now, last time we talked about variations. And on the basic plane, the variations, 90% of them are made with the wings. Now, there are other things that you're going to do, which I will tell you about at the end of the video. But this is the basic thing that you will do in the basic model. You will play with the wings. Now, as I said before, on the basic, which looks like this, and you don't have to put these ends on. I do that. That's some of the things that you can do that can help different things in your flight. But that's how the basic plane looks. So before I make those folds on the wings, this is the area, this is the transitional period right here. This is where you will decide how you will do your wings. So if I want a more aerodynamic, now remember all of these are the flat nose planes, which are non-aerodynamic. But let's say if I want a more aerodynamic plane, then I will take my fold and I'll give it a very, very sharp angle. Super sharp, almost as sharp as I can get it. Okay, so that's how it looks right there. But then whatever I do on one side, I have to do on the other side. So I turn it over, and I do the same thing on that side. And now I have a totally different look and a totally different plane because of the way the wings are made. Now, in this particular case, this is more aerodynamic than it normally looks, but it's the same basic plane that this is. Same basic construction. The difference is the wings. So I sure hope that you will enjoy that, and I can make a totally different look with the same design. There's a whole lot of things that you can do in your wing design, but I'm just going to give you some basics so that you will know on the basic model the things you can do. Now let me show you another one that I made, very similar to what you just saw. You see how that one is very aerodynamic? Here's another one that's aerodynamic too, but not as much. But it has a very, very wide wing and very flat nose. See, there's the nose there. As you can see, there's the nose. And here are the wings. Okay, there it is. But it's not as aerodynamic. So you take these two planes, they look very similar, but look at the wings. Look how I did the wings. The wings have a whole lot to do with how it flies. And so this one here, I just took a different angle. Then I took this one here. Okay, so this is what we can do with the basic planes. But we started out with the foundation of the original. I can make many styles of planes just by playing with the wings. Just working with the wings alone, I can do a lot of things to this plane. Well, I sure hope you enjoyed our early examples of the basic plane. In our next video, we are going to go over how it flies. We're going to show you footage of how this plane actually flies. I will do one indoors and I will do one outdoors. All right, now I would like to speak on that same basic plane that we talked about. This is the basic. Now, you don't have to put these on here, but these are one of the things that you can do to enhance your flight. And sometimes you don't really know how it's going to fly. Sometimes when I put these little different pieces on here, see, the basic model is going to look like this without creases. But I might put a crease in there. So I might take that plane and put that crease in there. Gives it a different look, but it also can change the flight a little bit. So I call these fins. Okay. Where these are called wings, I call these fins. And you can put those fins on and they'll change your flight. The other thing that you can do, and in the old days, I never used scissors, but I suggest scissors now that I'm have done these for a while, just to give a straighter look so that both sides are even. I can create what I call, they're like vents. And all these little things like the fins and the vents, okay, they're there to change the airflow. Here's an example. So if I want to put a vent on here, an air vent, I would simply take a pair of scissors or my hands. When I was young, I used my hands only. And I simply do a tear right into the plane, 2 tears about the same size. And then I would spread the plane out, and then I would simply pop it out. And that would create a vent. And depending on what you're trying to do with the plane, it can change your air pattern. It can change how it flies. And you just have to get used to putting these different things on there for what you want to do. You have to decide really what you want your plane to do so that when you put these little extra things to them, like the fins and like the vents. And I used to call these things in the back skids. That's where I just take my thumb like that. I take my thumb like that and push it in and create a skid. Now, this just changes the airflow, how the air hits the plane when it's in flight. So you see we have three different things that we did with our plane. We put the fins on, we put the air vent on, and we put the skid on. And all these things can control how the plane flies. So this is just a sample of what you can do with the basic and making the plane. But the main thing are the wings. That's the main way that you really can alter the basic plane, by just changing how you do the wings. All right, I sure hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.